give this a try, and by this serving dinner because I've got a few pages here to get through. Unfortunately, Guy Keller has stolen quite a bit of my thunder, so I'll rush through that. Firstly, I'd like to thank Jane Morgan and her team for putting on this lunch. Thanks to everyone for attending. So Spinnaker Resources. Spinnaker is a pre-IPO company. We're looking to list by mid-year this year. We are uranium focused and we're in the Northern Territory, which is one of the two primary jurisdictions in Australia where you want to be for uranium projects. My name's Wayne Rossiter. I'm a mining engineer and for my sins, chartered accountant as well. And I've been in this space for the last 25 odd years. So none of you have probably heard of Spinnaker, even though that may be the case. Spinnaker has been active in the Territory for the last 14 years. Our chief geologist, Gary Price, he's lived in Alice for 20 years and worked in the Territory for 30, so he knows everything and everyone in that part of the world. So our principal uranium project is called the Balgan Project. It's located in the Westmoreland uranium field, and this field has been well established. There's 80 known uranium occurrences in this field that go right across to the Queensland border. Where we are, however, is a really interesting spot. This area was explored historically for diamonds, base metals, copper, and also uranium. Radiometrics were flown back in the 70s and 80s that identified radiometric anomalism in this area. Mega, Hindmarsh, and ERA were working in this area for some time as a joint venture, and back in 2009, in one of the uranium downswings, they were divesting, and Spinnaker came along, the Spinnaker team, and into the joint venture arrangement. And since then, we've earned an 80% interest in these projects and picked up a whole bunch of other tenements around the area, which we have 100% of. Since then, we spent $1.4 million in our 80% earning, and probably spent the best part of $4 million since then. A lot of that sweat equity, and we've got a whole bunch of shareholders who have been in here for a long time. Looking to bring this to market, it's been a very patient exercise for everyone involved, but we really feel that uranium is on a big uptrend now, and that's why it's coming to the market for the very first time. So, the IPO, I'll talk about that in a moment, and then I'll get to the particulars of the project. We're in the pre-IPO raising now. It's a 10-cent raising, looking to raise $600,000, and we'll be aiming to list by mid-year for a $6 million IPO at 20 cents. And both races will, at this stage, we're planning a 1-for-2 attaching option at 25 cents and a 3-year strike price. At this point in time, we've appointed all of our key advisors, other than a broker, which we're working on right now, and that includes lawyers, accountants and so forth. Our independent technical report we prepared last year, which is just about ready to go, and we did that because we could see the building momentum for uranium, and we're getting ourselves positioned for this IPO. So this is not a new opportunistic play, and we'll see a few of those this year, I'm sure. This is a project that has had a long period of incubation, and there's been a lot of scientific exploration done to generate what we think are high-value targets that have a really high proposition of success, and we've got a lot of them. So a little bit about the uranium market, even though Guy's been wandering around with his Wallabies scarf. So look, we've seen the interest building last year, that momentum, and with COP28 last year, look, that was a real reinvigoration of interest in uranium, not just for electricity generation, but industrial heat, which is something that people really overlook. The global uranium market, it's very small, it's very tight, and what we're seeing is a huge supply deficit that's emerging and is only going to get worse. And just like we saw with lithium, people out there that have long-term need for lithium start coming down the value chain very quickly from producers to shovel-ready companies, pre-production companies, and ultimately to exploration. And where we're sitting is a high-value, cheap exploration play that is going to be extremely highly leveraged to any increase in the uranium price. We saw it run from 40, 50 bucks a pound to 106 over the last 9 months or so. There's plenty of proponents out there that think we could hit 200 spot this year. It's the place to be. So about our Bogan project, it's located in the Northern Territory. It's in the northern tip of the Barkly Tablelands, but surprisingly it's very accessible by the Calvert Hills Road and a network of pastoral tracks that are on pastoral land in this area. It's a Westmoreland uranium field. It's a Athabasca style unconformity deposit, and so that's where uranium is coming from a source rock. It migrates through a permeable rock, which in this case is Westmoreland conglomerates, and some reason, something causes these metals to precipitate out and form a deposit. Where we are is in a really interesting area, as I said before. This is a hitherto unrecognised extension of the Westmoreland uranium field, and it's on the confluence of 3 major faults. That includes the Emu fault that the Glencore-owned MacArthur River mine sits on. It's a metal-rich system. We know there's a lot of interest in this area. We think we've got the best tenure because of the geological complexity. So what we've got is these historical radiometric anomalies, and we have some historical drilling in the peripheries of this, which I'll talk to. What we've done is we've done detailed radiometrics, and we've established some significant hot zones. Our principal target area is what we call 8 fingers. It's 5 kilometres long by 2 kilometres wide. So we have other anomalous areas as well, but that's our main target. So what we've done, we've gone and done detailed radiometrics, tightened up those targets, lots of rock chipping and soil sampling. It's not that effective out there. We use biovegetation. There's Mitchell grasses that have long, deep roots, and we've found that's a really successful way to vector into the areas of highly uranium anomalous areas. What we're seeing is these overlap exactly with the radiometric anomalies, so that's good. We're also doing magnetics and gravity surveys, and what we can see into the rocks is these unconformity corridors, and we can see where there's dikes that are evident, and these are the redox fronts. And amazingly at the surface, we can see the expression of these dikes, and they're vanadium rich. And that's actually a really important thing because the vanadium upsets the stability field of the uranium and causes that precipitation. So it's a reduction, oxidation, redox front. Even more amazingly, on the surface, we can pick up chunks of quartz that have clearly visible radiation hazing on them. So this area is hot. We're targeting uranium concentrations similar to the Ranger uranium mine. So we have 5 defined drill targets at this stage within the 8 fingers deposit or anomalism. There will be more, and we'll work up more targets over time, and then we'll have a number of secondary areas where we also have drill targets. But this project's really interesting. I mentioned earlier that it's been historically explored for base metals and even diamonds. So there was a historical magnetic anomaly that Ashton's drilled back in '96 looking for diamonds. And they drilled 115 metres downhill. They got a massive copper intercept. Now we can't find that core, we think it's long buried, but what we've got is visual logs of that core of up to 30% copper over an 8-metre interval. Now what's happened since then is the government's flown airborne aromatics, and this is now defined as an AM anomaly, an IOCG target, and so that'll be our secondary area to drill. We want to do a little bit more magnetics up there, just to define not just that first hole or what's in the Ashton's hole, but we want to step out from there and see what we've got. So we're drill ready. On IPO, we'll be out there drilling the Eight Fingers project, and then we'll move to this copper project and get working up the uranium as well. And I should mention, we have a secondary project area about 400 clicks east of Alice. It's a copper tungsten moly project, near the Jervois copper project and the Molly Hill tungsten project. And we think that's a skarnsite project as well. So look out for us. You can find my presentation on the JMM website. You can reach out to me personally, and I'll put you on the list to keep us in the loop for this upcoming raising, which we're launching pretty much now, and keep an eye out for the IPO. Thank you, everyone.
Wow.